Folks, we have a lot of news about the fourth stimulus check that I want you to know. So you want to be sure to stay until the end of this video to find out the latest news about the fourth stimulus check. Everybody, like I said in my previous videos, more and more lawmakers in Congress are now in favor of a fourth round of stimulus payments for every single American. However, some people say that the expanded child tax credit payments are enough. So, in this video, I'll be explaining when the fourth stimulus check will be sent out by President Biden and the Democrats and even some Republicans like Mitch McConnell. The Democrats, Republicans, and even the White House can find an agreement on the fourth stimulus check and send out the help that many Americans need. In fact, it is kind of sad to see that Democrats and Republicans cannot agree on helping out the American people with a fourth round of stimulus payments. So folks, if you believe that President Biden must send out the fourth stimulus check as soon as possible, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes.
I am tired of the generalities, hearing what Mr. Manchin and frankly, Ms. Sinema are saying. And if they want to negotiate, let's negotiate. But when you got the overwhelming majority of the American people, the overwhelming majority of the Democratic House and Senate caucus, when you got the President of the United States, it's not a 50-50 deal. Mr. Manchin deserves to be heard. He deserves to get some compromises, but it is wrong for one or two people to think that they can dictate the outcome of this process. And I'm going to continue to fight as I have for working families and do my best to prevent this country from moving in an authoritarian direction, because you got so many people out there. They're working long hours for lower wages. Their kids are going nowhere in a hurry. They can't take care of their parents. And they are saying, does the United States government care about me?
Continue to be a great fighter. Well, it is wonderful to see everyone. I see you on the screen over there. And gathered here are the incredible leaders who care for your parents, for your siblings, for your children, people who provide care for other people's families. And caregivers do it all, from helping with finances and medication to preparing meals and providing transportation. Caregiving is hard work. It's hard work. It is work that requires emotional strength and can be emotionally taxing. It requires physical strength and it's physically demanding. And it requires a certain spirit of giving. And you all give so much, not to mention how much time it requires, because there's so much about caregiving work that is not on a clock. You don't punch in and punch out. It really is a function of the needs of the people you are caring for. And, folks have to understand that when we talk about then the issue of how we pay people their value and understand the nature of the work and the value of their work. And, as a bottom line, I'll just say this. In our nation today, it is essential work. And our nation runs on care, and therefore, our nation must invest in care. For working people and working women in particular, care is a prerequisite to be able to get to work. It's a prerequisite. It's not a given, sadly, but it is absolutely necessary. Yet we know that care is too often too expensive and too difficult to find, which is why we talk about affordability and accessibility. Take childcare, for instance. The average family in America has to spend 13% of their income on childcare, 13%. And that is assuming they can even find high-quality childcare in their area. Childcare can cost more than healthcare.
Now the US economy is still recovering, with slow but steady job growth, even as unemployment numbers hold steady. The federal moratorium on evictions ended August 26th, with a Supreme Court ruling, and millions now face losing their homes, and inflation, however, also appears to be on the rise. Some Democratic lawmakers have even called on President Biden to consider recurring payments. At the end of July, Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar introduced a bill that would send $1,200 to each American making less than $75,000 per year forever. And also in May, 7 Democrats on the House Ways and Means Committee sent a letter to President Biden requesting that the administration add a fourth and even a fifth stimulus check to the American Families Plan, announced earlier this spring. Biden's American Rescue Plan Act also created the third stimulus checks, It did boost tax credits for most parents with children under 18, but only for the year 2021. Most parents and legal guardians will receive a tax credit of around $3,600 for children under 6, and $3,000 per child ages 6 through 17. Folks, is this enough? Do you believe that President Biden is doing a good job with the child tax credits? I personally think that he is. I think that he also must help out the American people that do not have any dependents, like our seniors for example. So half of the credit is coming in the form of monthly advance payments to parents, beginning July 15th. $300 per month for younger kids and $250 for older ones. That is similar to the monthly recurring checks that some legislators have called for. The same law also retroactively exempted a large chunk of unemployment benefits that were paid out in 2020 from federal income tax. The American Rescue Plan Act also offers tax credits that cover all or most of the cost of a silver health insurance plan for 6 months under the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. So you are eligible for this if you filed for unemployment benefits at any time in 2021. And if you don't currently get health insurance through Medicare, Medicaid, then just know this: Biden's American Families Plan, which is separate from the American Jobs Plan, will seek to extend those tax credits, including the advance payments, through the end of 2025. The American Families Plan will also mandate up to 12 weeks of paid parental leave and subsidies for childcare. The fourth stimulus check also depends on several factors. If passed, it will probably look similar to the previous checks. For reference, the first stimulus check amounted to as much as $1,200, while the second stimulus check brought $600 to eligible Americans. The third stimulus check, which the IRS is in the process of distributing, is worth up to $1,400 per person. All three checks give the full amount to taxpayers, who made it to $75,000 a year, according to the most recent tax returns. Couples filing jointly got the full payment if they had a joint total income of $150,000 or less, with the first two checks. Everybody, the third stimulus check timeline happened rather quickly following Biden's inauguration on January 20th. It only took a few weeks for Congress to debate his American Rescue Plan. Once the president signed the bill on March 11th, $1,400 checks were put into motion. The IRS can begin sending out possible fourth stimulus checks in the same manner that it sent the previous stimulus payments. Now, if you folks found this video useful and helpful, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and family.
Jen, the president has been trying to get OPEC to increase supply in the past. Oil prices have been north of $80 a barrel.
Yeah.
Are there any steps that he's looking at, new steps, to try to deal with some of these energy issues?
Well, first, the president is very focused on this. He has asked his team about it. There are a number of people, senior members of the White House team from the NSC, from the NEC, working on this issue every single day. I would say that part is a supply issue, which is why you asked me about OPEC. It's something we continue to press them on. But part is also a logistics issue of being able to move